Is everything okay? Like, are we back?
Good question.
Like, are we okay,
Yeah, I mean,
Cubs fans?
We
Like,
talked about it yesterday after the Thursday game or the Wednesday game, 8-0. It's like, all right, the offense showed up, and Boyd gave you a great outing.
Yeah.
He had Shota yesterday, and Shota looked fantastic yesterday. So you got 1-2 at the top. Could you still go find another arm to add to the rotation? I think so.
Yes.
But your offense is going to swoon a bit, but it seems like they're starting to come back around here.
Yeah, they're good. Their offense is good, and they can wear teams out, especially the top of the lineup, because they're too good and talented, I think, to go through like a lot of prolonged slumps. I think they're going to hit all year if they stay healthy. The top of their order is really, really good, and then the Shota piece of it is important to talk about. That's how you come back and make a statement after being on the IL for a long time. They sent Ben Brown down. They're still going to go out and add another starter. You're right, Chris. I think that's inevitable at this point. They're going to find someone somewhere. But Shota being as close to like a front-of-the-line guy as they're probably going to get unless they add Alcantara or somebody else of that ilk becomes available, he's going to have to do it without Justin Steele coming back. Is he capable of that? I think it's fair for all of us to question it, but he goes out most days and he does what he did yesterday, and that the Cubs are going to bank on that and lean into that without a doubt. I thought he was really good. And then there's also the back end of the bullpen, which maybe they have figured out with Palencia. And things got interesting yesterday. This was, I believe there was already a man on, too, as the Cardinals were trying to rally in the ninth. This happened late yesterday.
Inside at 101. Did it get him? Yeah, it did.
Rush backhand, and there's still some chirping going on out there. It's going to be a bad time for Tommy Hotovy to come out and refocus Palencia.
Wilson Contreras is a red ass to begin with. Of course, I'd be upset, too, if I got hit by 101. Obviously, Palencia is not trying to hit anybody. It is a three-run game in the ninth, and there's already a runner on.
Yeah.
So there's no intent there whatsoever. That said, I get why Contreras was mad on a hot day. I'd be mad, too.
Well, Jesse suggested yesterday that Contreras was doing it on purpose to get into his head.
Maybe. I could see that. I could see it.
He's a younger player. Like,
of course, but Palencia pulled him out. Like, that was a great way to respond. In the chirping afterwards, it's like, all right, Contreras, move along, sir. You guys are swept. Calm it down to the side. I appreciate Palencia giving him a little bit back after getting out of the inning.
And you're not kidding. Like, you talk about, forget about getting your cage rattled. Like, he did the absolute opposite to get out of that little mini jam, and then this happened at the end.
Struck him out. Ball game. Cubs win. Palencia finishes it off.
Oh, and now words.
Love it. Yeah.
And benches are going to empty, but nothing's going to come of this. Is it Jonathan Moda making his way all the way over to Wilson to try to play peacemaker and calling Mama, or somebody said, I got it.
The next Cubs card series, gentlemen, starts next weekend during the holiday weekend
Friday.
at Wrigley Field, a week from today.
It's going to be a great series.
It's going to be great.
And I love that the Cardinals are lurking, and I love that the weather's warm, and they face each other, 9 more times this season? And next weekend, they're right back at it. A little testiness at the end. That's great.
That's great.
That's summer baseball. I love that.
It really is great that it sets up for a holiday weekend next weekend here on the north side. That'll be the matchup. Cubs have a couple of big series still here before the break. They'll have the Yankees going into the break. They've got this interleague series against Houston. They'll have the Cardinals in town. And you're right, they are lurking. Just 4.5 back. The Brewers just 3 back.
They end the season with 3 against the Brewers, too. Or not against the Brewers, the Cardinals. They get the Brewers.
At the very end of the year?
Yeah, very end of the year, they end with the Cardinals. They get the Brewers 7 more times, too. So, I mean.
It's a lot of division action still.
No, and that's good. Like, this should be a little tighter. Like, I don't mind that it's tightened up a little bit because, like, I think I said it to Chris yesterday that I know Cubs fans were on the ledge, but I think that this was actually a good thing that they struggled when they did, because if you're 8-9 games up in the division, we know this is a front office that is reluctant to, or an owner that's reluctant to spend money and add money now. But also, this is Jesse has said it. This is not like there's like one good starter out there to trade for. Chris Sale's not available.
Well, like especially now being hurt, right?
It's Alcantara, and that's it. And so and other bullpen guys that you're going to add, and guys are going to take advantage, try to take advantage of the Cubs and ask for really high-priced guys in their farm system and say, hey, we want these guys, and it's up to the Cubs to make the decision. If they were 8-9 games up, they would say no, we're good. We've got a good cushion. We're going to win the division. We're fine. Now that it's tightened up a little bit before the All-Star break, maybe they notice the weaknesses a little bit more and say, hey, maybe we do need to give up a couple of these high-profile prospects to get a starter. If the price for Alcantara starts going higher and higher, maybe we need to go and give up one of our guys because we have to make a run while we still can, and we need it because we're only, when they get to the deadline, they're only 2 or 3 games up.
Yeah, the race for Alcantara seems to be the one that everybody's going to zero in on here. Sale's not going to become available, and again, the rib cage injuries are those could be devastating. That really kind of muddies the waters. Yeah. Not that I don't think he's going to become available anyway. I don't know that there will be a true anybody with sort of Alcantara's skins on the wall. I don't think anybody of that ilk's going to be available, even though he has struggled, or at least he did in the early stages of the comeback this year after the surgery. I think he's showing teams, if anything, that he can get back to some semblance of his old self. And that's going to be the arms race for that arm. And what are you going to be willing to give up? I don't think any Cub fan wants Cade Horton going anywhere, and I understand that. That's the only piece I feel like most Cub fans, and even the Cubs might be saying, he's off limits. Anybody else in our organization? In our minor league system, that is, could maybe be had. Horton's going to be the one that's a no-go, and he pitches tonight in Houston.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is, it would be great if tonight he has a fantastic outing to string together 3 in a row from Boyd, Shota, and then if Cade could come out tonight against a good potent team. Astro lineup and have a good outing, I think that would really go a long way, and I wouldn't give him up either. I like the idea that you're building something for the future, and I wouldn't just try and go after that starting pitcher, giving up that prospect, knowing that you have him for an extended period of time to chase something, hoping that you could pull it off this season. I would rather see Cade Horton develop and be a part of this long term.
They've had a tough time with pitching, in terms of internally how they've developed it. That great run with those teams, that golden era of Cubs baseball was mostly built on buying low on Arrieta and just something clicking in an unbelievable way. You went out and you got John Lester, who the front office was already familiar with and had a relationship with, and they didn't develop him. John Lester was a finished product and a very develed product when he got here. And
you got the most out of Kyle Hendricks.
And you got that's another one that you went and you traded for, though.
Right.
And it was awesome.
But it was no guarantee at times that he was going to be an ace of a staff.
No.
Right, the way he pitched at certain points throughout that run, he pitched like a number one at times, but he's not a number one. So you got the most out of that talent.
And you hit on him, but again, it was nothing that was built through your minor league system. That's one area that for whatever reason they've seemed to struggle, and Horton might buck that trend because he looks the part. And I know, Sylvie was talking about the conversation he had with Sutcliffe, and Sut was like, he is an absolute off-the-table no-go for anybody, I think, in Sut's mind. It's and he's had a pretty good eye for that stuff, And so anybody else, probably. I do love how feisty things got yesterday. I think it was an excellent response by the Cubs the last couple of days after there was some panic in the streets. I heard one caller on Waddle and Sylvie, what was it, after Tuesdays? Maybe it was Wednesday before Wednesday's game.
He was over it. Get rid of the marquee network.
He was like, I'm going to get rid of the network.
Yeah,
and
they're done.
And it was geez, it's not 1998.
I mean, come on.
That's a 1998 take, not a 2025.
June 25th, and you're out. Come on now.
Not saying it's early, but it's a little early to be giving up on the team.
Of course it is for a team that's in first place.
Yeah,
of course.
Again, Cubs baseball is this isn't 98. This isn't early 2000s.
No.
What do you mean they're going to do what they've always done? Your team won the World Series in the last decade. They went to 3 straight NLCSs not that long ago. I was like, how could you be so willing to
Different
be
era.
no, that's it.
Different era.
Yeah, you got to calm down a little. They've got an 85% chance of making the playoffs according to Fangraphs. They have a 65% chance of winning the division. They're minus 235 to win the division.
Yeah, I don't think it's take a knee yet, but
no, it might not be
take
taking
a knee.
No,
but
no,
you're
no.
not. You shouldn't be. You
They
shouldn't be waving
jumping
the
off
white
the league.
flag.
Exactly, that's my point. Yeah,
I still think they're the second best team in the National League. I would put
behind the Dodgers.
Yeah, behind. I put the Dodgers 1. I put the Cubs 2. The Mets would be 3.
Yeah, the Mets have fallen
The
off.
Mets just lost another. Griffin Canning just got hurt. They just lost another pitcher.
That's what I'm saying. You're the
And they've
second
fallen
best
off a
team in the
cliff.
league.
Yeah.
Second best team.
Yeah, they might be. I mean, I think San Diego's pretty good, too. I think they're right there with San Diego for the second best team in the league. I like Philly. I picked Philly to win it because I feel like.
But people are out.
Yeah, you can't. That's insane.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I
Like
know,
That's
man.
insane.
It's wild to me. It's wild.
Again, it's not 20 years ago.
Right.
Like, that's
Yeah.
a 20-year ago take. Like, I'm sick of my Cubs burning me. And
I'm throwing
I
my
was
hat
like, wait
in
a
the
minute. I'm like,
fireplace.
I'm
We
like,
get-
what year is
Light
it?
it on fire.
We get to August 27th, and they lose 5 out of 7, and whoever's coming into town, the
Yeah,
Cardinals
but
or
are
whoever.
you still 3 up in the division, though?
Yeah, but I would be a little more worried then because you're like, hey, they're not playing well. We're getting into the end of it here. You got a bunch of division games coming up. Like, I'd be a little more worried then because that's also would be after anything you add at the trade deadline. But still, then, if you're 3 up at that point, you're still okay. It's too early to be scoreboard watching, guys.
Yeah, well, we're halfway home exactly. It's 81 games in the books for the Cubs. They're trending for 96 victories. They have the identical record as the first place Astros, so it makes it a pretty juicy matchup this weekend. The Cubs get fortunate. They miss Hunter Brown, who pitched yesterday and was dominant again against the Phillies. Did not factor in the decision, but the Astros won again. The Astros have not lost a series since the 3rd week of May. And they've done it without Yordan Alvarez. And they traded Kyle Tucker. They lost Alex Bregman. And it's like, doesn't matter. Some organizations just do it well. What do you want to see the Cubs do here as we get into the next month and as the trade deadline approaches? How should they proceed and operate, Cub fans? And you got to feel great about the response the last 2 nights, back-to-back shutouts against the St. Louis Cardinals.